That's cool. What did you notice about going over to ride? You said those guys are fast. What kind of stood out to you?
Um, it's like everybody here, right out of the gate, everybody's going, and so like getting tossed into that was tough. Trying to figure out the bike, figure out tires, suspension, electronics, like the way they have everything set up is so much different than what we have here, and then even the bike, it's still kind of the base of what I have, but it's a newer model, so it's got the split throttle bodies and all that, so that was different. Uh, it was just, and then like I was really surprised I could actually like brake kind of with everybody, but then the way they get off into the corners, like they just hold the brake pressure so long and then just release it and go. And where here I feel like the way I ride, like I have like max brake pressure and then kind of taper off as I start tipping in, and so like learning, it was just a lot of adjustments and like looking at data and everything compared to the factory HRC bikes and everything. The way they ride is just completely different than how I do. So trying to wrap my head around that was a big deal.
Do you think that it has to do with mainly the tires, or do you think the tires force people to be able to do different things, like get away with certain things
Yeah.
versus riding Pirellis from Dunlops?
I think the tires. I think the front tire definitely like allows them to be able to ride it like that, and that was where like I just I was missing quite a bit of time just finding that edge. Here we've got so much time on the Dunlops that you can go right out of the gate and get right up to speed and know exactly what the tire's going to do. Where over there it just took some time, and even by the end of the weekend I was still trying to figure stuff out, and that track was like that was I thought that was going to be a pretty simple track looking at it on TV. Like it looks flat and everything, and it's not flat. And you're full tilt, full lean going, and man, if you're like offline a little bit or the bike's not turning quite right, you're losing a lot of time. And so it was it was a big learning experience. Like even by the end of the weekend I was getting faster and getting a little more comfortable, but it's just those guys get up to speed so quick, and then not being able to like I wanted to make really big adjustments, and they were making a lot of adjustments. Like the team worked really good, which I was surprised about. I kind of you hear stories of guys going over there and they're just like, oh, here's the bike, this is how it's gonna be, and they did everything like that I asked for and made a lot of changes, went opposite directions of where they normally go, and so it was good. They were trying to get me comfortable, and I was happy about that, but just need more time.
I mean, it was probably a success, though. I mean, you were really close to Teddy Mercado, who's been there a long, long time, and I mean, you weren't that far off, really. I mean, when you put it in the grand scheme of things, you've never rode a full blown superbike, never rode, um, a World Superbike in World Superbike with those tires, and we know that arguably that bike isn't, it's not like you jumped on factory Yamaha that's been
Yeah.
proven race winner, right?
Yeah.
Honda, the top guys in the world, VAE, and struggle on it. So, I mean, I feel like that's got to be a pretty big success for you.
Yeah, I was pumped, and after the weekend, I saw where Leandro had raced there 2 weeks prior in the German championship, I think, and I was like, "Oh, you man, you got me." But no, it was good. Like the full length races, I think I had him by like a tenth on the overall fastest lap. But like the first race, I made so many mistakes, and like that turn one there, that turn 1-2 section is so tight, and you're coming in so fast. I think I blew that corner like 12 times over the whole weekend, just blasting through there. And yeah, so like I did it I think 3 times in the first race, and then ran off in another section at one point. And so like it was I was way off in race one, but the lap times were good compared to Leandro, and even the like next group up in front of him towards the end of the race, I was pretty close in times. And then but like the Super Bowl race, I was way off time wise. Like right out of the gate, those guys throw down the fast laps and then kind of are able to back off a little bit. And so like I would lose like 6-7 seconds in the first 2-3 laps, and then I'm kind of hung out to dry trying to make that up. But and then yeah, the second race actually I got up alongside Leandro at one point, And then, sure enough, going into turn 1, friggin' blew it again, and gave him a couple seconds, and then kind of just, I was just happy I didn't crash the bike. Made steps all weekend. I learned a bunch. And that was my first time running with the Morelli, and so, which I didn't have them change anything. I was like, look at it, and if you think that there's stuff y'all can change just by looking at it, you go for it. I was like, the bike feels good, and I can pretty much do whatever I want with it, and it's not too hard to ride. I was like, so I need to just get comfortable with it, and so that was cool. I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a cool experience, and Summer, my wife, got to go with me. That was her first time out of the country, so she was blown away by how much different their series is than what ours is, and going somewhere where nobody understood what you're saying and everything. The town that we were in Most is rural, it's out there in the boonies, and nobody speaks English. We went to the grocery Thursday night to just get some snacks and stuff, and we couldn't read the screen on the self-checkout, and the lady that was trying to help us, she didn't understand a lick of English, and so we're like, and she's just doing it for us, and then they've got these weird gates whenever you leave the self-checkout, you have to scan the receipt, and I've never seen that, and so we're trying to go through, and we're like, what the, we're stuck here, we're not getting out, and then somebody went by and did it, oh, okay, so it was cool, and being able to, we got to spend a little bit of the day Monday in Prague, and I got to go there whenever I was 14, but I don't remember anything, didn't really get to walk around, and so it was cool. I enjoyed myself a bunch, and working with the team, and making some good relationships there was cool, and slowly the plan is with our bike to kind of get to Superbike, and so hopefully those are going to be the parts we're going to be going to. So it was funny, a couple weeks before that, me and Mark Young, my crew chief, were talking about trying to get some parts and stuff to try, and we're like, well, it'd be perfect if somehow we could get on one of those bikes and try some stuff, and then a couple weeks later I get a phone call to go over there and try the bike, and I was like, well, this will work. So it was definitely a perfect weekend for me, really. I didn't have any expectations. I knew I wasn't going over there to win. I thought points would be awesome, but I knew that was going to be a far cry for that to happen. So it was just cool. It was a big learning experience, and getting to go do something that I never really, once I got into my mid-20s, I never that dream kind of went out the window. Never thought that would happen again. So it was really cool to have the opportunity and get the call to go do it.
Yeah,